Hey everybody, I'm Marissa, and today I'll be talking about this whole new thing called cloud versions, how they work, and some opinions about them. Let's get right into it. So what is a cloud version? Well, put simply, it's kind of like Google Stadia, but instead of a subscription service plus buying the game, you're just buying the game straight out, kinda maybe. But still unclear on how the purchasing model works. We do know how the cloud version works and operates and functions, so we'll get into that. So here's a list of timestamps and table of contents so you can jump to where you want to go to in this video to get your answers sorted really quickly. I'll try to cover everything I can as quickly as possible with no BS. Alright, let's jump right into it. So why do you even do a cloud version to begin with? Well, for the Switch's case, the Switch isn't overly all that powerful. I think anyone can agree with that. And it wasn't even that powerful with its own current gen, PS4 and Xbox One. But with the new gen coming in, Nintendo has to make a choice. Either make a new Switch, or just do a Nintendo and not do anything, which seems to be their thing. Which means if companies want to release games on the Switch, they will have to find some new avenue of releasing it, otherwise it won't work. Hence, cloud gaming, which basically is just you get a code on your Switch and that code will direct you over to a computer server or something or other, and you'll be streaming the game from there so you can play it on your Switch. This means the Switch can be able to play these later newer games that wouldn't actually run off its hardware. Cool, right? But there's some issues. But we'll get into that when we get into that. So do I own my own copy of the game that I just bought from GameStop or EB or wherever? Uh, if it's a cloud version, no, you do not own those copies. You see, what's on those copies is a small bit of code. Those codes, or the code in your copy, links you to a server or a computer or wherever, and you can then play the game through that. So you do not own the game, even if you buy it physically or digitally. Doesn't matter. And because you don't own those games, once the servers go down, you can never play it again. So consider that as well. Well, what about pricing then? Pricing should hopefully be cheaper than buying the game outright physically and actually owning it, because you are basically buying a gimped product. By gimped, I mean the fact that you don't own the product itself. But seeing that this is kind of a new trend and there isn't really anything to show for it, and there isn't anything to really. Oh wait, there's Resident Evil 7. So in Resident Evil 7 for the Switch was a cloud version game released in Japan, only in Japan as far as I'm aware. And you could play the first 15 minutes for free. Then you could pay around 2,000 yen for a full access to the game for 180 days. If they go with that model, then you're gonna be looking around 18 bucks for a whole access for 180 days if they take that model completely. Whether or not they do that is a whole nother topic. But it is unclear at this time how much Control or Hitman cloud versions will be priced. Maybe they will be priced cheaply, maybe they might be priced full price. Maybe there will be a timer, maybe there won't. It's really unclear at this point. The information I got from there, though, from the Resident Evil 7, came from IGN, and you can see it in the image on the screen, yada yada. So what about connection issues? Because you are streaming the game to your Switch. Well, this comes down to your internet. Is your internet decent? If you have bad internet and you can barely watch Netflix, don't bother. Stay away from the cloud versions. Simply don't even look at them. And if you have decent internet and you're not sure if it will run, then tread lightly, in my opinion. If you have great internet and you know you can run it, then it's up to you whether or not you want to do this or not. Just remember, what it comes down to is, do you want to play a game on your Switch and not have ownership of it, and know full well that whatever money you spend now, you'll will go to a game that you may never be able to play again for any reason because the servers went down. The choice is really yours. That's the big thing. So, what are my opinions on this matter? Well, I kind of basically hinted at them before. My opinion is these cloud versions, in the long run, are not good choices. I would advise staying the hell away from them. Mainly because these once you buy a game off these cloud servers, eventually the servers one day will shut down and you will never get access to them again. We've already seen what happens to normal games that are centralized on a server. Darkspawn, Need for Speed, I'm trying to think of more. Battleforge. There's a lot, trust me. And all these games relied on the server, and one day got shut down, and most of them are unplayable now. Flat out, you can load into the main menu, and that's it. Now, some games like Battleforge have communities behind them trying to resurrect it, but not every game's going to have that. That's just one instance where that's happening. Most games are going to be dead forever, and the likelihood of you being able to resurrect it yourself with no help is pretty non-existent. You better hope that you're some sort of programming whiz or something like that. Otherwise, you're out of luck, mate. I'm sorry to tell you. So I would advise staying away from it altogether because of that simple fact. Sure, right now most of the games you might not care about, but maybe one day you might want to go back to it, and because it was on a cloud server, there's nothing you can do. You might think you own it, but really, when it comes to a cloud, you don't own anything. You don't own all the movies on Netflix. Netflix owns them. You're just paying the right to access them. You don't own all the music on Spotify. You're paying for the right to access them. Same thing with cloud servers, cloud gaming servers, like Stadia and Luna. Even though you are buying the game on cloud, they're sort of on Stadia. I haven't actually read their term of service to be to full disclosure. So yeah. Anyway, that's just my rambling on the whole topic. I hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button, hit the dislike button if you thought this was informative or not informative. And subscribe or don't subscribe. I don't really upload much anyway, so if you want to subscribe, feel free. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay too. I probably won't upload for another like 12 months or something. So, have a good day, guys.